Have you ever realized that SpongeBob is a true celebrity, and not just among real-life fans, but also in other animated shows and even TV series? Our beloved SQUAREPANTS has won the hearts of kids and adults worldwide, and has even become a reference in several famous cartoons. One of the most subtle yet brilliant appearances happened in The Loud House. If you watch the show, you might not have even noticed, but SpongeBob makes a few cameos in some episodes. This happens in the episode Left in the Dark. In it, Lincoln recalls how every Sunday his sisters would fight over the TV remote, and while they argue, the channels rapidly change. And guess who appears for a brief moment on the screen? Yes, SpongeBob and Patrick Star. It makes perfect sense. Since The Loud House and SpongeBob SquarePants both belong to the same network, Nickelodeon, a subtle but genius crossover. And that's just one of the many references featuring the most famous sponge in the ocean. Get ready because we're about to blow your mind, so let's dive right in. If there's one cartoon that loves to poke fun at everything and everyone, it's Family Guy. And of course, they weren't going to let SpongeBob slide. In the episode The Tan Aquatic with Steve Zissou, Peter Griffin loses his driver's license and has to hitch a ride with Meg. Annoyed by her dad's childish behavior, she decides to put on a cartoon to distract him. And which cartoon does she pick? None other than SpongeBob SquarePants. Even Peter Griffin can't resist the charm of the square sponge.
SpongeBob.
Another show that's a master of references is The Simpsons, and of course, they've acknowledged SpongeBob too. In Season 16, Episode 4, She Used to Be My Girl, Lisa is trapped in the trunk of a car during a volcanic eruption. In a moment of desperation, she says she was praying to Jesus, Buddha, and even SpongeBob. If even Lisa Simpson has faith in SpongeBob, who are we to argue? Speaking of Nickelodeon classics, The Fairly Odd Parents definitely deserves a mention. The show, which follows Timmy Turner and his fairy godparents Cosmo and Wanda, also included a SpongeBob reference in the episode Crime Wave. During a scene where several kids are using their phones, one of them looks exactly like SpongeBob. But here's the catch, it's his human version. He has the same big eyes, signature buck teeth, and even the iconic red tie. That was a top-tier tribute. Whoever came up with that definitely deserves a Krabby Patty. Another show that never misses an opportunity to reference other cartoons is The Amazing World of Gumball, and they paid tribute to SpongeBob in a hilarious way. In the episode The Slap, Gumball and Tobias end up trapped on the school's rooftop. After spending hours under the blazing sun, they collapse on the ground completely exhausted. This scene is almost identical to a moment in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, where SpongeBob and Patrick also pass out from the heat. If you're a Gumball fan, you definitely love this reference. If there's one show that loves making parodies and poking fun at every cartoon and movie, it's Robot Chicken. With its sharp, sarcastic humor, Robot Chicken has featured several hilarious moments involving SpongeBob and his friends. One of the most iconic ones happened in the very first season, when SpongeBob and Patrick Star randomly pop up doing a completely absurd little dance, totally insane. So, are you enjoying these unexpected appearances? We think it's awesome seeing SpongeBob pop up in other shows. If you're a fan too, comment Bob below and tell us which Bikini Bottom character is your favorite. I'll go ahead and say mine is Gary. What about yours? Now here's an unexpected reference. SpongeBob made an appearance in a Nickelodeon live-action series, Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. In the episode, the kids are getting ready to take their yearbook photos, and everyone wants to have the best look. But one student decided to take it to a whole new level. I don't know about you, but I think it's way past time for him to update his wardrobe. Since this show was also on Nickelodeon, this little reference made things even funnier. Since we're talking about wild cartoons, let's look at a fun SpongeBob reference in Cartoon Network's Uncle Grandpa. This show is one of the wackiest ones ever created, so of course it had to include a nod to the SquarePants-wearing fry cook. In an episode called The New Kid, a boy named Tommy imagines what his life will be like in the future. And guess what? He sees himself working in a fast food restaurant that looks a lot like the Krusty Krab. Yes, the very same place where SpongeBob flips Krabby Patties like a pro. And that's not all. In the background of the scene, there's a squid that looks suspiciously similar to our favorite grumpy neighbor, Squidward Tentacles. Was Cartoon Network taking a jab at its rival Nickelodeon? We may never know, but one thing's for sure, this scene is absolutely hilarious. Speaking of The Simpsons again, SpongeBob makes another unexpected appearance in the episode A Fish Called Selma. In this episode, Homer takes his family on a trip to a town from Marge's childhood. At one point, Marge and Lisa visit a marine animal museum, and out of nowhere, a surprise reference appears. A statue of none other than SpongeBob himself. Well, he is a marine animal after all, a true work of art. And look who shows up in Family Guy once again. In the episode Livin' on a Prayer, Stewie decides to put together a security team to guard his room from the Tooth Fairy. But the real surprise comes when you see one of the toys he chooses for protection. It's none other than our favorite SquarePants-wearing friend. Now here's the real question. Does Stewie know about some secret superpower that SpongeBob has that we've never seen on the show? Maybe he figured out that besides flipping Krabby Patties, SpongeBob is also a self-defense master. Who knows? Nickelodeon loves SpongeBob so much that they couldn't settle for just one reference in The Loud House. In another episode, during a classroom scene, there's a board on the wall with a few marine animals drawn on it. If you pay pay close attention, you'll notice they're actually the animals from Bikini Bottom. There's a squid, Squidward, a starfish, Patrick, a crab, Mr. Krabs, and of course, a square sponge representing SpongeBob himself. It might not be a direct appearance, but it's a clever and well thought out reference. And this is just the beginning. We've got plenty more SpongeBob cameos in other cartoons. Stay tuned to find out more. Now, for real, if you're enjoying this video, help us out by clicking the subscribe button down below. You won't regret it, and it's totally free. Once again, we're diving into this insane stop-motion series. In one of Robot Chicken's wildest episodes, they reveal a pretty disturbing secret. The Krabby Patty is made of crab. Can you imagine the horror? Along with other Krusty Krab customers, SpongeBob loses it and goes after Mr. Krabs in a fit of rage. Who would have thought the most famous restaurant in Bikini Bottom had such a dark side?
I'm just glad nothing disgusting happens to a sponge.
This time, we're talking about a hilarious moment featuring SpongeBob in an episode of Family Guy. At one point in the show, Brian, always the skeptic, starts questioning the existence of Santa Claus. But what he didn't expect was Stewie's reaction. Outraged, Stewie fires back with, "So you think SpongeBob isn't real either?" Uh-oh, Stewie, we need to talk. But let's be real, whether or not SquarePants is real is a question that has puzzled plenty of kids. So, do you want to break the news, or should I? If there's one animated show that never misses a chance to poke fun at pop culture, it's Futurama. And of course, SpongeBob wasn't spared from its hilarious references. In the episode Yo Leela Leela, Leela creates a super popular TV show, and one of the characters drops a surprising fact. Her show's ratings have surpassed none other than Spongebob SquareBolt. Yep, you heard that right. These guys came up with an alternate version of our favorite yellow sponge. Who knows, in some parallel universe, SpongeBob really might be a SquareBolt. Anything's possible. Not even Disney, Nickelodeon's eternal rival, could resist sneaking in a solid SpongeBob reference in Phineas and Ferb. In the episode where the gang ends up stranded on a deserted island, they search for anything that might help them escape. Phineas, hopeful, digs through the sand and finds a sponge and a starfish. But he quickly gets disappointed and mutters, "What a dumb idea." Come on, Disney. You're acting like that friend who pretends not to care but always finds a way to throw shade.
A sponge and a starfish. There's gotta be something we can make out of this. Oh no, that's ridiculous.
Once again, the Simpsons parody SpongeBob SquarePants. This happens in an episode where Lisa suggests that Krusty the Clown sell his image rights to international TV shows. As a result, we see what appears to be an Italian version of SpongeBob called Roberto Spugna Quadrati, who is much more violent than what we're used to, but absolutely hilarious. This version really has that itchy and scratchy vibe, don't you think? And of course, we couldn't leave out another completely absurd Robot Chicken moment. In one episode, we get a downright unexpected scene. Sandy Cheeks tells SpongeBob that she's pregnant, and it's his. Now that would be a dream come true for a lot of fans, huh? Just imagine what their kids would look like. A mix between a sea sponge and a squirrel? That's one theory we're definitely not ready to explore. SpongeBob SquarePants has appeared and been referenced in so many places that it almost feels like he's part of every animated show ever made. That just proves how much of a true icon he is in the world of cartoons. If you remember any other references we didn't mention, drop them in the comments. And as always, we've got 2 insane videos right here for you to keep enjoying even more incredible trivia.